Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day because he's quite handsome and brilliant. Peace, me, see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, we're still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Tesla annual sales drop for the first time in over 10 years, causing their stock to dip as well. Now, granted, this is, America in 2024. Well, now 2025, actually. Time goes way too quick. So, have to have that fun little caveat and say, no, this is in no way financial advice. I mean, hindsight is always 20/20 when it comes to these types of decisions. And truth be told, who doesn't wish they couldn't go back in time and get Tesla during the IPO stock? They IPO'd for $17 per share, and it's grown so much they split the stock twice. And even though there's been about a 10% drop since the miss in sales, it's still trading for over $400 per share. Specifically, again, it'll change by the time the video is rendered and uploaded, for $404.95 per share. Now, we'll dive into the article in a second, but just looking at the stock, yeah, you can see that, little bit dip there. It went down by $45, again, correlating to about 10%. And, zooming out a little bit, still overall a wildly successful company. I mean, past 5 years, still through the stratosphere, 1,170% increase. In the past year, it's 59.06% higher. And year to date, granted, it's been like a day, it's down. Even if they zoom out to the past month, past 30 days, it's up 7.93% with a 52-week high of $488.54 per share. But a lot of people are freaking out because their sales, they don't do that in terms of going down. Again, over 10 years of going annual increase of sales is an astronomically successful thing, especially for an automotive company. And a lot of people are starting to worry, is the 800-pound gorilla, or more accurately, the 800-pound panda, going to take over the world, aka Chinese-owned and Chinese-based BYD, which their EV sales are going through the stratosphere and taking more and more market share. Now, this article actually comes to us thanks to CNN Business, which somehow still in business. I think they have about 18 employees left, but nevertheless, they're still around. Specifically, Chris Isilidor, who's right over there, which someone might have to check with Peter Jackson with Lord of the Rings. I was going to say, Isilidor has never been the same after the battle. Now he has to write for CNN. Some might argue a fate worse than going up against the goblins, dwarves, and fairies. I'm kidding. I know about half of those references are wrong, but nevertheless, the CNN article says, quote, Tesla posts its first ever annual sales drop. Here you can see some of the Tesla SUVs and sedans over there, which, they've gotten a little bit better looking throughout the years, but still, only 2 pedals. Never gonna get my sale, but nevertheless, they say, quote, Tesla reported its first full year drop in sales and is historic as a public company. Increased competition, so demand for EVs hit the results. The company specifically reported fourth quarter sales of, again, still great, but down 495,570 vehicles. Now, they did note that it's up 2% from when it sold a year earlier, but the left far behind the 5,000, BYD is killing it. The 575,413 pure EVs sold by Chinese rival BYD in the quarter. Tesla's full year sales of 1.8 million vehicles nevertheless edged out BYD's annual EV by only 24,000 units. So they are just barely hanging on to that title as the world's largest EV automaker. And yeah, with BYD being able to cut them on price, and let's be honest, China, you can debate if they invented ripping off technology but nevertheless, I think they perfected it because, yeah, they're the one country that really doesn't respect any patent laws or any intellectual property for that matter. And they have a very successful historic track record of ripping off technology, replicating it, and selling it for a profit. And again, when it comes to EVs, they're basically smartphones on wheels, and they're just getting better and better. I mean, 6 years ago, BYD and most of those EVs out of China were a joke, but they're getting better and better, and you can't beat their price point because China, very much pro-business in terms of low regulation, and yes, the state also owns part of the company as well, but yeah, let's just say China makes it pretty easy to do business over there. That's why most of the factories have gone there throughout the years. Now, they continue saying, quote, but Tesla's 2024 sales were down 1% from 2023, the first time the company had reported this kind of drop. Tesla at one point was reporting annual sales growth of nearly 50% per year, and its 2023 sales was up a solid 37% over 2022. So even the narrow decline represents a significant slowdown, which, yep, it is. They know that Tesla faced increased competition not just from Chinese rivals like BYD, but also from legacy automakers like General Motors, which I can't help but laugh because GM has a problem with recalls in general, and with EVs, they're going to have even more recalls with their ineptitudes. But in all seriousness, GM did beat Ford last quarter in terms of now becoming the biggest of the big three. Again, the big three legacy automakers being Ford, General Motors, and, well, it used to be Chrysler, not Stellantis, but they did edge out, well, pun intended, because Ford makes the Ford Edge, though not an EV, but I partially digress. GM did pass Ford. I think it was about 300,000 EVs in a quarter, which, again, GM is growing that market presence more and more. They also know that there's more competition from Ford, kinda, Volkswagen, AG, and Korean partners Hyundai and Kia, which, again, hindsight is always 2020. I cannot believe how great Hyundai and Kia has done in the past year. I mean, stock is up, like, oh, was it 60%? And people don't realize, and I didn't realize until I kind of delve into the details a couple months ago, they're one of the largest EV battery manufacturers on the planet, and they're growing every day. And a couple of my friends have gotten leases of the EV Hyundais, which, again, I would never get because I love manual transmissions and a gas engine, but they love those things, and they haven't had a single complaint about them. They've been working out pretty well. They also, in the article, note that, quote, even though those legacy automakers only have a fraction of Tesla's EV sales, as they mostly sell traditional gas-powered vehicles, they are posing more competition. Tesla's responded to the slowing demand by cutting vehicle prices, both in China and the US, which that's not great from what used to be one of the most profitable automotive companies on the planet. Again, new car sales are notoriously not profitable. They're crap. I remember when I was in the automotive community, a Chevy Cruze, which used to be the compact four-door they used to make, I mean, they would lose about $497 per Chevy Cruze sold just on the car alone. The only way dealerships made a profit was, well, GM would give you a nice little gift card in the mail, and then you make money through financing as well as accessories and all that kind of stuff, and all the service plans. But yeah, small compact cars and American cars, I mean, cars in general, there's not a lot of margin there. I mean, it's a really cutthroat competition, and now Tesla's getting more and more. Lowering the price also kind of loses the prestige. They also are going to have an economical car soon, lower price point. There was a point when Tesla first came out where you just saw it, and maybe I was the only one thinking it, but I would see that, and my immediate thought when seeing Tesla, years ago was, wow, that idiot just spent $100,000 on a disposable car, which, by me, yeah, and part of me still thinks that, considering, well, they don't last more than 10 years, but nevertheless, they still have that prestigious, expensive thing about them, but now they have a $50,000 option. They're supposedly going to have a $24,000 option before I die. We'll see. But they're also losing that luxury allure as they become more mass manufacturer, which, again, Elon wanted to do because he wanted to make the most cars possible. And I think history will show us he has the most successful business plan in terms of, again, they're the first EV company to really make it successful. Now, they know that, let's see here. A couple of the comments are saying, 1% isn't that bad. The comments are ridiculous. Sales are dropping because demand leveled off. There's nicer, affordable EVs. A lot of people saying EVs have no future, which, again, the government has a gun to the head of these manufacturers. EVs have a future whether we like it or not. Whether the consumer wants it or not, the government's going to force them to make it. Again, there's a defect. Again, hopefully Trump will save the ICE engines, a good old good old V8 with a stick shift. Can't beat that. But again, the United States specifically, these companies are being kneecapped by the mafia, the government. They not only have tailpipe emission standards, in which you can only emit so much stuff, but they also have fleet mandates in terms of fuel economy. So the only realistic way they can hit those is by making a bunch of EVs, even if they don't actually sell, because that will help increase those averages. Again, Ford almost had to pay $1 billion penalty because they weren't selling enough EVs, and that average wasn't at the point that the arbitrary government mandated wanted. So again, that's not a variable. You do also have a decreasing adoption rate of EVs in the US as people start to see some of the drawbacks from them. And, well, maybe folks like me just like to have the option of an independent third party able to actually service your vehicle and not have, again, like a smartphone on wheels where you really can't do much. So I think it is, again, not financial advice, but it is quite concerning because, again, Tesla's growth rate has not just come to a standstill, it went down, which historically for the company has never happened. They have increased the competition. if people are realizing maybe the hype isn't there, and let's be honest, it's a luxury product no one really needs. So again, the economy should be getting better this year. I mean, I'm hoping it does. So people have more money to buy toys and boost the economy, all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if they're going to choose to buy EVs or not, but let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.